Hey everyone, Mystical Mark here. So in this video we're going to talk about this upcoming total solar eclipse here in Aries. So let me just go to the chart here. So one thing I want to do, or that I was actually kind of guided to do for this astrology video, was to actually look at the Sabian symbol for this eclipse. So the Sabian symbol for this eclipse, so it's 19 to 20 degrees of Aries. So as we can see here, this will be happening at exactly 19 degrees 24 minutes, and in fact is an exact conjunction here as well as to Chiron at 19 degrees and 24 minutes, which will be interesting, and I'll note this later in a bit here. But just regarding this Sabian symbol for this eclipse, again, Sabian symbols, for those who don't know, they're basically like intuitive channeled meanings for each of the degrees, for all 360 degrees of the circle of the zodiac. So each sign has obviously 30 degrees, and so there's 30 different meanings basically in terms of each degree of each sign through all the signs in the zodiac. So for this one, it's Aries 20, so it's 19 to 20 degrees of Aries, and it's seeing life, this one, I'm reading, there's another summary here, but this one is a young girl feeding birds in winter, is this Sabian symbol. What I was kind of getting at here is there's kind of a description here from James Burgess. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. But there's some summaries here on his website just regarding kind of the meanings of these symbols. And what I was trying to obviously say at first there was seeing life as a constant opportunity to experience love. So I think the meaning kind of behind this is a young girl feeding birds in winter. It's an aspect of like that cold, that winter, all of that kind of surrounding us, but yet there's still that warmth that exists in terms of that love from that little girl feeding the birds food in the cold depths of winter. So it kind of goes on to say here, life's very harshness is what enables us to learn of love's unfathomable depth. Being innocent and fearless in love. So it says, nature is harsh. People and animals suffer and starve, and they die. Yet without harshness, compassion could not exist. There would be no place for it. There is no higher purpose than to live life as a constant expression of compassionate love. This is neither fanciful nor sentimental love. It is feeding the hungry stranger. So what I find interesting about this, as we can see here, this exact conjunction here to Chiron, to this as well. So this eclipse is obviously happening in Aries, 4 degrees away from the North Node here. So that means this is a total eclipse. So the closer the eclipse is to the nodes, the more total the eclipse, right? So with this total eclipse, and again, total eclipses in astrology are tending to be more along the lines of like a more intense kind of eclipse than, let's say, an eclipse that happens like further away from the nodes. However, eclipse season is really intense just in general. And I don't mean that in a negative connotation or a negative way. It can be intense, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I'm going to get into that in a second. And also, eclipses, we have eclipse season like twice a year. Like we have solar eclipses usually around twice a year. That can shift up a bit depending, but these happen like all the time. So, and these eclipse doorways or these eclipse windows, as the energy is happening around the eclipse, but the effects of the eclipse will happen for the next approximately like 5 to 6 months where they get worked on, until the next eclipse season then starts and begins. So these cycles are constantly happening and moving and working through these shifts and changes in our lives. So just be mindful of that. All right. So again, what I was going to say here is, so this Aries energy is ruled by Mars. We can see here now that Mars is in Pisces, moving into conjunction here with Saturn. So with this energy, Mars is traditionally known as a malefic as well as Saturn. But what I feel this is there's like this malefic energy in this realm of Pisces here. But Pisces is a mutable water sign, and I feel like this is the dissolution of this malefic energy. This dissolution, it's like that this malefic energy is like the winter, right, in this Sabian symbol. But what we need to recognize is the love that still exists within that, right? There's a lot of stuff surrounding this eclipse saying, oh, it's going to be bad, or oh, all this is going to happen, or oh, whatever. What is that? The dark the malefic energy that is existing here in spirituality, in media, in all of that is coming through, right? This is in direct opposition here to Black Moon Lilith, where we feel outcast, in these ideals of perfection and all of these things, and they're pushing all of this stuff at us, right? What this is healing, and especially with Chiron here conjunct this eclipse, stuff we could feel triggered. This stuff could come up, but the only way that we're going to really learn to actually heal is through love. The answer to all of this negativity, to all of this stuff, is the opposite. It's love. There's a semi-sextile here as well to this Jupiter and Uranus building into conjunction here in Taurus. Taurus can be extremely stubborn. It doesn't want to move. It doesn't want to change, right? It won't move unless it sees value in change, unless it sees value in something else. So we've been stuck in this, I don't want to say programmed, but it's kind of what it is, in this state of we're always having fear pushed at us, always worried about this, always about that. But what I think this is signifying is really expanding and shaking up that fixatedness on that and fixating it on something else. That something else is that what we need to learn to fixate on it is love. And of course, that starts with us. Again, we're in the sign of Aries, the sign of the self, the sign of independence. And that's, I think, what this is really kind of fixating on. There's this quincunx here to, again, this Black Moon Lilith and Virgo, where we felt outcast. And again, it's in our day-to-day life and society, these ideals of perfectionism, all of this little nitpicky stuff. But what we need to realize here is, in order to integrate those hurts, we have to do so from this place of this love of self. And with Chiron here, this is Chiron exact. So this is really focusing on this aspect and this depth of healing that is occurring here, right? And what is the most healing thing? Love, right? Well, a lot of people are traumatized. A lot of people get hurt due to fear, due to manipulation, due to abuse, due to all of that. What would have solved that from happening? Love. What solves that now? Love, right? We need to get into that space. We need to expand and shake up and change. Remove that fixation on what we've been previously fixated on into a different space. And because this is on the nodal axis, remember, we're dealing with this North Node Aries stuff. That South Node is still in Libra, right? This is a letting go of that which is not beautiful, letting go of that which is not justified. Sorry, oh my God. Maybe that's something that needs to come through. Letting go of that, of those people, those relationships that are not loving in that sense as well, right? So there is kind of that focus there, as this still exists on this nodal axis, but there's a huge emphasis here on healing ourselves, our own identity, right? And we may feel triggered. We may have stuff that has come up already since this lunar eclipse that has been triggering us, that has been coming up. But really what we need to focus on here is this, again, this idea of love, understanding that there could be this whirlwind of darkness or coldness or whatever happening around us, but there's always that warmth that still exists. There's always that young girl that was going out to feed the birds in the middle of winter, right? So I think we kind of need to trust in that and understand that moving forward. There's a lot of this malefic energy here, but it's in Pisces. Like I said, this is this dissolution of that. Pisces is a mutable water sign. It's that water flowing to erode. And with Saturn here, part of this lesson of Saturn could be, we need to let this erode. We need to let it go in that way, right? There could be a creative solution coming through here with this quintile here to Uranus. Again, this aspect of change and shaking things up. With this quintile, it could feel like it's metaphysical, it's coming through, but it's coming through in that creative way. There's a creative beauty that is coming through here, possibly in this dissolution. And Pisces is also about compassion, having compassion for where we felt hurt. And because Mars is in Pisces and ruling this North Node area, it's really having that compassion, that unconditional love that is coming through. Anyways, I am running out of time, guys, but I believe this is really the message that was kind of coming through for me on this. There's a lot of negativity surrounding this, but I think we all need to come back to this place of love, and I think that's maybe the lesson of all of this that is happening, as well as this eclipse that is coming through as well. So happy eclipse, have a great day and a great week. Thank you, take care, bye for now.